Hey friends, it's Hope, and today I am here to do a non-spoiler book review over Try Not to Breathe by Holly Seddon. And this book, I recently listened to it via audio and I really enjoyed it. And the reason why I picked this book up was because I was looking for an audiobook that I could just listen to while I was driving to and from work. And I kind of wanted an audiobook that I had never heard anybody talk about before. I asked for some recommendations on Twitter, got a lot of great feedback, and put those on hold on my Overdrive app. But this book was available to borrow at that exact time. And like I said, I was kind of in the mood to read something or listen to something that I haven't heard anybody speak about. I had recently just read Gillian Flynn's The Grown Up, which is a psychological thriller, and I saw Try Not to Breathe was also in that psychological thriller genre. And so I thought, hey, why not give it a go and see how I like it? If I were to rate it from Girl on the Train to a Gillian Flynn novel, it definitely would side more with Girl on the Train as far as how tame it was. It was not like super dark and twisted. But enough talk about those books. Let's go ahead and talk about what Try Not to Breathe is all about, and I'll tell you guys the things that I liked and disliked about the book and hopefully persuade you to maybe take a look at this one as well. This book did come out in 2016, so it hasn't been out for a very long time. We follow two different timelines throughout this novel. The first timeline is 1995. We see Amy as this really popular and spunky schoolgirl. She has a boyfriend, has a great group of friends, but she's just getting herself into a little bit of a sticky situation with an older man. He hasn't been identified at this point, and we see in 1995 she leaves with this older man and she never comes back home. She's later found in the woods, like half alive, so she is just hanging on for dear life at this point. And then we see a timeline from 2010, which is considered our present day. And we follow Alex. She is a alcoholic. She is trying to pick the pieces back up in her life. Her alcoholism really limits her from doing certain things like holding a steady job, even functioning normally throughout the day. It pretty much destroyed her marriage. But Alex is determined to kind of pick herself back up. So she is a freelance journalist and she decides to write about these patients who are staying at this hospital and they're in a vegetable state, and she comes across Amy, who she recognizes and remembers from 1995 in high school, and she remembers her case. At that moment, Alex decides that she is going to put all of her energy and her efforts into helping solve Amy's case because she believes there's more to the story. And as the reader reads the book, 1995 storyline and 2010 storyline will eventually meet. Now, with all that said, you also get introduced to this man who visits Amy almost on a daily basis. This unnamed man tries to keep his identity very low profile because this guy is actually married to a girl named Fiona, who is totally crazy, and I freaking loved her in this book. But yeah, she is crazy. He visits her for unknown reasons at the beginning of the book. We later find out why he visits her so often. The book is actually told in multiple points of view, which I really adored. So not only do we see from Amy's point of view in 1995 and then Alex's point of view in 2010, but we also get to see a point of view from this mysterious man, and we also get points of view from a family who is also pretty involved in Amy's case. Something that I loved about this book is that it kept me guessing. I didn't know exactly where the story was going to end up. I didn't even know how it was going to end, who was going to be the bad guy in this book. There were so many different people that were very suspicious. I really did enjoy all the characters as well. I feel like they each added variety to the book. Not one of them were the exact same in any way. They each were there to play a certain part in this story, and I really enjoyed them. I also loved, for a psychological thriller, while it did creep me out in some chapters, it didn't give me like the heebie-jeebie vibes that Gillian Flynn books give me. My biggest complaint, and really my only complaint, was the fact that we really did have to wait quite a long time to figure out who this abductor was, who this mysterious unnamed man was. Even though this book did not drag to me, I just wanted to know who our bad person was. Who could we blame Amy's condition on. And with the different points of view and the alternating chapters and the timelines slowly making its way to this certain point, I was just on the edge of my seat and I just wanted to be like, okay, tell us already. So for me, really, that was my only complaint. While the book did not drag, I feel like the author just took her dang sweet time on bringing us to the conclusion. So for that reason, I did knock off a star. And while I understand building up the suspense, this book was over 70 chapters long. So hello, we had suspense. I ended up rating this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And if you guys like listening to audiobooks, I thought the narrator did a wonderful job. My friend Blair actually read it as I was listening to it on audiobook, so she read it on her Kindle and she really liked it in print form. So I would say if you like listening to audiobooks or just reading the book, you should be good either way. And I know my friend Joss over at Squibbles Reads is currently reading this right now, and hopefully she's loving it just as much as I did. But yeah, with that said, if you guys like psychological thrillers but you aren't looking for one that is totally on the crazy scale, you're looking for one that's a little bit more tame, and you like books with alternate points of view and different timelines that lead up to the present day, I highly suggest checking this one out. And yeah, I guess those are my final thoughts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully you guys decide to pick this one up. I honestly really liked it, and I think that a lot more people should read it, especially since I haven't heard anybody talk about this book at all. So yeah, until next time guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye!